On to the second section of the homework. Simplify expression. Specifically, we are only allowed to use positive exponents. Positive exponents. So we're not allowed to say x to the power of negative 2. We have to say x to the second, x to the 2. Our first initial problem, directly from the homework, says w to the negative 4. The rule for this is quite simple. If you see something to a negative power and there's nothing else preventing you from modifying it, so if you have no other operations, there's nothing else around it, you're simply going to flip it over. You're going to say 1 over w to the 4. If it said w to the negative 3, it would change into 1 over w to the 3. That one's quite a simple rule that you just have to remember. Let's see, that was number 45. Number 46. I'm going to give you some different values for this one. Let's pretend it says m to the 6 over m to the 4. It's going to be quite simple. When you have exponents, so m to the 6, that's an exponent right there, m to the 6, over another variable that's the same as the one on top. So if this was m to the 6 and it was over x to the 4th, you could not do this. But because these m's are the same, you're going to take the exponents and just subtract them. If it was multiplication, you would add them. So if it said m to the 6 times m to the 4th, you would say 6 plus 4. So it would be m to the 6 plus 4. 6 plus 4 is 10. M to the 10. In this case, it's division. So we say m to the 6 minus 4. M to the 6 minus 4. We already know what 6 minus 4 is. That's just m to the 2. Okay? Let's see. 47. Or we can skip number 47 because that's what we just talked about. We'll jump into number 48. H to the 2 over g to, let's pretend it says to the 4. It's a parenthesis around it, and all of that is to the power of 4. Alright, so this is where it gets a little more complex. We look inside the parentheses because we always start with parentheses. H to the 2, g to the 4. These letters are different from one another. We cannot do our simple rule. If it was g to the 2nd over g to the 4, we'd be doing some subtraction. It's not. We're not going to do anything with that. Instead, we're going to look at this. H to the 2nd to the 4th and g to the 4th to the 4th. Those are the two things we're going to solve. H to the 2nd to the 4th, the rule is when you have an exponent to another exponent, you're going to multiply. It's one more thing to remember. H to the 2nd to the 4th simply becomes h to the 2 times 4. That is over g to the 4 to the 4. G to the 4 times 4 is what we'll write down here. Two times 4 is 8. 4 times 4 is 16. Another rule that we can find is on number 51. Regardless of what you have, I'm going to write like x, y, z, all to the power of 0. If it's to the power of 0, it's 1. Okay, I'll make up my own number, let's say 102. Let's pretend it says x to the 0 times 2. Because it's to the 0, it's going to be 1 times 2 equal to 2. Right. With most of the actual rules being covered, We'll spend some time doing 2 of the more difficult problems, and I'll leave the rest to the viewer to solve. Let's jump into number 58. We'll do it exactly as it says. We won't change anything. So it says w to the 5th, x to the negative 2, y. All of that is over w to the 2, x, and y to the 4th, to the 3rd. Gosh, this looks complex. But we're going to move through it step by step. We're going to start with the things that are the same. W and W are the same. So this is going to turn into W. It's division, not multiplication. So we're doing division. Our rule says it's minus 5 minus 2. This turns into W, whatever 5 minus 2 is. 5 minus 2 is 3. Next up, let's look at our x's. X to the negative 2 and just x. We don't have a number there. And because there's no number there, we have a rule that we haven't spoken about. That just means that there's a 1. So we have x to the negative 2 divided by x to the 1. We're going to do subtraction again. X to the negative 2 minus 1. Negative 2 minus 1 is negative 3. X to the negative 3. Y, there's no number, so we're going to add a 1 there. Y to the 1 minus y, well, divided by y to the 4. So y to the 1 minus 4. 1 minus 4, y to the negative 3. If you have something to a negative value, you flip it over and you put it on the bottom, or vice versa. If that negative value is down here, you'd put it on the top. Let's do that. So now what we have is this. W to the 3 doesn't move, it's not negative. That x to the negative 3 goes on the bottom. Flip it over there. And that y to the negative 3 also jumps to the bottom. Our very last step, since none of our numbers are letters, they are all differing now. There's nothing more we can do to make that simpler inside. Is we're going to do w to the 3rd. So exponent to an exponent, multiplication. W to the 3 times 3. X to the 3 times 3. Y to the 3 times 3. W to the 3 times 3 is W to the 9. X to the 3 times 3. X to the 9. Y to the 3 times 3. You already know. One more of the difficult problems that we have. I suppose 59 is kind of fun. We can do that. Right. 59. 6 times 10 to the 7th. We'll just do it exactly as is. Won't change any of the variables. There's plenty of problems to work on here. Okay. Where do we begin? There's no parentheses. There's division that we could start with. We could say 6 times that over 2 times 10 to the 3rd. That could work, but we'd want to simplify the top and the bottom before we try dividing those numbers. If you were to do that in a calculator, you would get 6 in the front with 7 zeros behind it, divided by 2 with 3 zeros behind it, so 2,000 over 60 million. 60 million over 2,000. Let's do it a little simpler. Let's take that 10 to the 7. Let's take that 10 to the 3rd and let's use our rule. 10 to the 7th divided by 10 to the 3rd. 10 to the 7 minus 3. 10 to the 7 minus 3. 10 to the 4 over 2. Next up, we can use that simple division. 6 divided by 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 3 times 10 to the 4th. 10 to the power of 4 is 10 times 10 times 10 times 10. 10 times 10 is 100. Another 10 is 1,000. And another 10 is 10,000. So we get 3 times 10,000. 3 times 10,000 is 30,000. And that is our answer. Hopefully these tools and tricks will help you to resolve the remainder of your problems. Good luck.